It's 9 o'clock. It's a Saturday morning. Oh yes, that can only mean one thing. It's time for the Monster Magic Saturday Show. Let's do this.
Wake up, it's a beautiful morning. Feel the sun shining for your eyes.
Woohoo! Good morning, people. I hope you're all well. I hope you're still tucked up under your duvets because it is getting a bit chilly, isn't it? I think it's getting to winter. You might notice I've had a bit of a trim. That can all be explained because I went to the London Magic Convention last weekend, which was a brilliant convention. Really friendly, just the right size, great acts, great lectures. I think everyone was having a really good time there. And I just want to say thank you to all of you who came and said hello to me, and you mentioned the show and you mentioned the shop. It really means a lot. When I started this venture, I had no idea how it was going to go. So it's great that so many people are appreciating it, and I'm still having so much fun doing it. So hello to all of you. And you might notice I've had a bit of a trim. That was because I was lucky enough to have a guest spot in the 4-minute gala show. I've actually posted a wee video of me and my performance at the London Magic Convention on my Facebook page. So at Monster Magic Shop on Facebook, I think that's how you say it. You can probably just put in Monster Magic Shop and it will come up on Facebook. So if you want to see, if you're a glutton for punishment and you want to see my 4 minutes, then you can go there and watch it. And while you're there, please do, I don't know, like it and follow, because I'm trying to make the Monster Magic Facebook page a sort of useful resource and a bit of fun, rather than just a sort of marketing promotional tool that seems to happen with business Facebook pages. So trying to put some reviews up and some interesting sort of my opinion on certain things. Anyway. But now let's get on with some reviews. And first up, we have Vanishing Nickle by John Cornelius, been put out by Murphy's. So John Cornelius was an incredible magician, a FISM winner, very inventive back in, you know, the 1900s, as I like to say. And Vanishing Nickle was a big hit. Doug Henning did it on his show. It was called Fickle Nickel in his book, which I've got somewhere, The Award-Winning Magic of John Cornelius. So if you've got this book, you've got Fickle Nickel, which is the Vanishing Nickel, all in here. And it really is a simple, very clean, very visual coin vanish that looks absolutely remarkable, and yet is very simple to do, very easy to get into, very easy to set up. It does use some of that stuff that you can't see, which can scare some people. But with this routine, it's not like it's, you know, it doesn't need any complicated hookups or anything like that. It's a very easy hookup. It doesn't have any sort of tension stresses, so you're not going to be breaking anything and having to reset up or anything like that. It's a very easy thing to do. The actual effect is really simple. You just put the nickel in the palm of your hand, you close the palm of your hand, you show that the nickel has gone, has vanished, and you can show the back of your hand and the front of your hand, and it is absolutely disappeared. And you can then bring it back at will. It is so baffling. It is really hard to understand how physically it's possible. It's really great thinking by John Cornelius. And obviously, if you've got it in his book, you can sort of try and make it up. But here we got it. You get everything that you need in here. All of the stuff to set it all up. Like I say, it's very quick, very easy to do. And you also get the nickel, which if I was going to give the nickel a name, I would call it Michelle, if that makes any sense to anybody. And obviously this is for a nickel, which in England we don't have nickels, and a nickel's slightly smaller than a 10p. But if you've got a 10p called Michelle, you can probably set this up with that instead to make it slightly more organic for the UK audience. And I guess you could do that with euros as well. I'm not sure what the euro coins are. It's been a long time since I've been abroad. The teaching is by Javier Wunderbar, and there's very very few people who are as good at doing tutorials as Javier these days. He's really become Murphy's go-to person. It's very clear. It's lots of angles. He teaches it really, really well. Takes you through everything, and he does it with. What you also get in here actually is some stuff that you can see, so that you can practice with it. Everything being visible, so you really get to understand where everything is, and the feel of it visibly as well, and then you can start doing it invisibly. And Javier teaches it nicely with invisibly, and then does it properly as well. There's a great bit on it where he shows the original Fickle Nickel and how it came packaged. And he looks very, very bemused by the printed page, by these words and illustrations. It's like, but now we've put it into video form so that you can genuinely learn it, which was really sweet. It is simply a very, very clean, brilliant coin vanish. I am very, very tempted to get a 10p Michelle and set myself up with this. You can have this set up and move around freely and go about your daily business, and you'll just be ready to pull a 10p out of your pocket, do the incredible vanish and reappearance, and put it back in your pocket. Almost an everyday carry in my book for just a little quick bit of fun if you don't want to get into a huge routine, but someone has asked you to do a bit of magic. I love John Cornelius's stuff. I love this book. His inventive mind. This is one of the best things that he came up with. For those in America, this is an absolute steal at $19.99. It's a shame they haven't done a UK or a European version, because then that would be equally great value for money. The problem here with being in the UK is that the Michelle, you can use it. Obviously, it's a coin. It'll be fine. It'll vanish. It's no problem at all. But I think a lot of people are going to want to be doing it with a 10p, so they're going to have to fork out a little bit extra for the gimmick. But you get everything you need. Really well taught. It's a brilliant trick. It is Vanishing Nickle by John Cornelius. Next up is Marry, Kiss, Kill by Green Lemon and Wessel Kort. Wessel Kort. What a great name. Wessel. Yes, a weasel. This is Green Lemon, are a new company, and they produced that Sharpie prediction thing last week. This is their take on Out of This World, really. Paul Curry's Out of This World, as if there aren't enough versions of Paul Curry's Out of This World. This once again tries to take Out of This World, or the red-black colour separation, which wasn't invented by Paul Curry. There were other versions out there before Paul Curry came out with Out of This World, which just became the definitive trick for it. Taking it away from being a card trick and making it into more of a game. And this is the lovely presentation of Marry, Kiss, Kill, which is that game where you have to decide whether you're going to kiss, kill, or marry certain people. The cards are really well printed. The cards are really nice. So what happens is you have these indicator cards, and you put them down on the table. And you then run through the celebrities in pairs, and they get to decide whether that celebrity gets, you kiss them or you kill them. You can turn them over to show that you have actually separated correctly all of the kisses from all of the kills. You can then do a second phase where the cards are cut, and the two cards that are cut to are removed, and they are the people that you would marry. And you turn over the indicator cards, and they match the cards that have been randomly selected, as it were. Quality-wise, printing-wise, the cards are really nice. Everything's been thought out. The different colours, the skull and the lips, really nice idea. The choice of celebrities should appeal to pretty much universal, I would say. There's Bert and Ernie, if people can remember Sesame Street, then you're fine. There's a couple of risky ones in here as well. There's Tomato, which is quite amusing. So they have tried to consider how to make this as fun as possible, with a few jokes in there. There's a my mum, your mum choice, which they say is a bit risky. I don't think it's that risky, is it? And it is just a little bit of fun after all. It's a nice idea. It's a nice presentation. There is a discrepancy when you show the color separation, but that will fly. For me, it seems slightly more discrepant than the original Out of This World, which is one of those discrepancies that a lot of people have been trying to get around for a long time. The big problem with this is that this is such a crowded market, and I don't feel that this is quite as good as, or as amusing as Sean Goodman's Genetics 2, which is wonderful to play between two people. And the game, you know, I love Chris Rawlins' Predictable, which came out not that long ago, and you get a real connection with your audience member here. This is fun, just don't think it's as much fun as Genetics. It misses out on what all of those things do, is they miss out on what I really, really like about Out of This World. The original is that the cards are in your participants' hands. You've asked them to separate the colours from red and black. They're not being influenced. They haven't got a clue what they're doing, really. Sometimes you get people really thinking about it. Sometimes you get people carelessly just dealing to get the trick over and done with. And then there's that astonishing moment when they've done it without any influence and completely out of your control. This doesn't have that. And I don't think the second phase really adds that much either. It is fun to do. It is enjoyable. The cards are really well printed. I just don't think it's the best version of Out of This World, but that's me. There are 16 cards, so that's 8 pairs, so it's not too long a drawn out trick. That it can be one of the problems with Out of This World. You've got to deal through all of the cards. So in that way, there's a benefit. You will have fun performing this for sure. It is good. It is enjoyable. It will get some laughs, especially if you think, I think if you do the My Mum, Your Mum. Part of me feels it could have been in a book. You know, you could just have some blank-faced cards and they can suggest things for you to write on. But yeah, there we go. It's only $20.99. It is Marry, Kiss, Kill by Green Lemon and Wessel Kort. And now it's time for Royal Couple by Gustavo, Sereno and G Magic. If you've seen anything about this, if you've seen the trailer or anything, you will know that this is a kind of anniversary style effect. Perfect for weddings, perfect for couples. You ask your two participants to each select a card. Now, hopefully they are a couple. The cards they select turn out to be the King of Spades and the Queen of Hearts. They sign the back of these cards, which are then put face to face, and they are put either between their hands, or they put their hands over the top of those cards. And then when they remove their hands, you open them up to show that the cards have become inexplicably co-joined at the middle, and that the King and the Queen are now holding hands. Much like Anniversary Waltz, which I'm going to keep referring to, it is a lovely giveaway. Gustavo mentions that it's better for photographs as well, if you're at a wedding and they're going to take a picture, because you can actually see that the cards are joined, whereas with Fusion, which is the original Anniversary Waltz sort of style, you don't get to see both sides of the card, so it's not so clear from photographs what's actually happened or what you're being shown. The gimmicks, I might as well show you the gimmicks, because you've seen you get 50 in here, which is a fair few. Now, they are nicely printed, but these aren't bicycle cards. They're printed, I don't know what bicycle probably think about this, but they're sort of, they feel different. The colours are slightly different, but they will fly by. There's nothing really to worry about. If you're anything like me, I've accidentally mixed up mandolin and bicycle and rider and been absolutely fine. And there you go. And you can see they're really nice. It is a great romantic souvenir. It's a very easy to do trick. It's a charming trick. It's fun. Magic wise, I don't know how strong it is, because these clearly aren't the cards. They signed cards where the Queen's hand wasn't out sticking out and the King's hand wasn't sticking out, so they logically, if they run through it, they'll suss out that the back of the card that they signed wasn't the one that they saw the face of. But if they think that deeply about it, then you know, rather than just being chuffed. The handling, everything is taught by Gustavo really well. There are like 5 videos. It's split into 5 different videos. You get a nice little introduction where he talks about why he came up with this idea and why he prefers the cards to be joined like this. Then they run through 2 different handlings. So there's a signed handling, which is obviously the preferable one, a non-signed version, which is slightly easier, but the signed version isn't difficult anyway. And then he talks about how you actually force these cards. Obviously, these cards are forced. It shows a few subtleties as well about how to reveal the cards, what to do with the couples and their hands, things like that. And he's obviously really worked it. He really loves it. He points out that because these aren't, or they're whiter than ordinary bicycle cards, they might stick out a little bit in the deck. So either use a brand new deck, or you can get a pencil and just dull the edges if you want, or just not worry about it. 50 is a fair few. You've got plenty to practice with if you want to, but like I say, you're not destroying them in any way, so you only really need one to practice with and get yourself going. I don't know about refills, but it's only $25.99. So really, I think you're just going to rebuy the trick rather than, this is all you get in the box anyway. I really like it because it is a brilliant giveaway souvenir. Hand on heart, I'm still going to stick with Anniversary Wells. Don't have to worry about the refills. You get a bit more of a card trick out of it, with each card being lost in the deck and then them finding each other. And you've got some nice displays to show that the cards do have backs to start off with, and then they become fused together. I think it's slightly stronger magic for me personally, but Royal Couple is up there with the perfect wedding trick. That is Royal Couple by Gustavo Sereno and G Magic. And now it's the Bendix Bombshell wallet. Yay! It's back. This wallet was incredibly popular when I first started Magic. Throughout the 80s, this was really the gimmick wallet of choice. It's essentially a Himba wallet with a zip. This zip compartment goes through to the other side of the Himba wallet. It's dislocking. It's a great, really versatile wallet. It was invented sometime in the late 70s, I think, by David Bendix, who was a big contributor to the journals and magazines of the time, the Hierophant and Kabbalah, and he was very much up there with his contemporaries of Marlowe and so on. I can't really go through all of the routines that are possible with this wallet. Marlowe did a lot with it. John Rackenbaumer had things with it. John Luca had things with it. John Mendoza used to do tricks with this wallet. All of the workers back throughout the 80s, in all of the card books that I used to have, I always used to have a trick with this wallet in. And I know it is basically a Himba wallet, but you can have cards transform and transpose, and all manner of things. It is really versatile. It comes with just 2 routines. The video format is in Chinese, and there are no subtitles, but if you watch it, you'll get an idea. The first routine in that is 2 cards are selected and signed. You get a card, you show the top card of the deck, and that's put inside the wallet. You show the second card on the top of the deck and you put that on the table. They change places. You then pull the signed card out of the wallet, and then you then show that the card that was originally the top card that was placed in the wallet is now the other selection. Really strong trick. And then there is a sort of mashup of Francis Carlyle's Cards to Pocket and Alex Elmsley's Between the Palms, where 3 cards go to the pocket and you start pulling them out of the wallet. They're really good routines. They're also taught, if you want to learn them in English, there is a PDF which explains it all really clearly. Yeah, sorry, Javier, back to the printed word. and illustrations. It is well made. I'm guessing this is actually genuinely leather. It's not the nicest leather. It's not going to be pushing Louis Vuitton in any real way. They say they've made it this size so that it's practical for everyday use, so you can use this as your everyday wallet. I think that is a very, very unlikely thing to happen. And that is really what the shame is. So it works really, really well. It's got the nice edges to it. It doesn't stand out too much as being a gimmicked wallet. He teaches some nice subtleties of how to open it one way and then open it the other way to sort of not make it look too discrepant as well, which is really nice teaching, both on the PDF and in the video. The real shame is that they haven't made it slightly shorter, thinking about today's market and what people genuinely carry around with them. And I'm not bothered really. That's not so much because of the look, and it's a strange sort of wallet, and no one really carries bills laid out flat now, or has a checkbook that they want to carry around, but it's just a little bit cumbersome to carry. But it does stand out nicely on the table. If you can put this on top of a glass or whatever, and the whole table can see it. Great for parlour to have a slightly bigger wallet for sure. And I don't really think people are that bothered about checking anyone's wallet, really. I tend to think that wallets are quite often above suspicion. I know that as magicians, we know there are a lot of funny wallets out there. I don't think the lay people do. So they'll just go, oh, he's got a big wallet. Personally, I'm absolutely thrilled that the Bendix Bombshell is back, because I can now go back and check out some of the Marlowe tricks from Olram File, and John Luca tricks and John Mendoza tricks, and I can now do them because this wallet was required. It's $69.99, which isn't too bad for a wallet these days. Everything's stitched rather than glued. It's gonna last. It's just too big, isn't it? But I'm going to cope with that. I'm going to work through the size. I don't care, because I want it to do some of those card tricks. That is the Bendix Bombshell. And finally, we have Wild Shock by Sayuma. This actually used to be a Tenyo trick, I believe. So I'm not sure what the relationship is between Sayuma and Tenyo. It's a great card trick in the vein of Tenyo. You show the Seven of Hearts. You take half the deck and you rub the Seven of Hearts over cards individually, and they all change into the Seven of Hearts. You eventually do it with in one go, change the rest of the half of the deck. Very nice, very visual change. You then get the other half of the deck to try and do the same thing, to turn them into the Seven of Hearts, but they all turn blank. It's a great multi-phased, really visual card trick. The deck is gimmicked to the hilts. It is on bicycle rider back cards, which is where it differs from the Tenyo one. The Tenyo one had one of their funny decks. These are, the funny backs that no one's really ever seen before, but they're quite beautiful, quite nice. They're good cards. Nothing wrong with that. Just as we know as magicians, we'd like to use something that's recognizable. And also easy to swap in. So with this, obviously, what I would do probably would be to swap these cards in at some point rather than have it as a standalone trick, because then you're obviously using very much a gimmicked deck. And as I say, it is gimmicked, so you end up very, very dirty on the table. But the changes are visual. I love the Presto Printo bit. You can have a lot of fun with that. And to have that and then the whole deck change, really nice, really visual, easy to do. A few basic card skills required, but that's the joy of this as a hobby, isn't it? You get to learn some stuff. So there's a lot that goes on with this deck. So there's a lot to recommend it. It's a bit pricey. It's $33.99, which for me pretty much rules it out. I think if it was down in the £25 mark, it would be a much easier purchase. If you're doing it in a nicely controlled parlor setting, for example, or as part of a competition. It's a brilliant effect for all of that sort of thing. Friends and family probably going to be a bit grabby with it. Or you can do what I suggested and just sort of switch this deck in, do some card tricks that have been nicely handled all beforehand, switch this deck in so that really is a surprise when those cards change. The teaching is all done by video, but without any commentary. So it's all sort of visual, which is great. It works really well. It's a kind of a clever way of doing it universally. So no matter what language you speak, you can understand how to do this trick. It is fun. I can see where the cost is because they've used bicycle, so that always boosts the price, and that helps in a lot of ways if you're going to be doing it in any sort of magic club or professional capacity where you're going to be switching, or you want people to believe that the cards are genuine. That is Wild Shock by Sayuma. And that's the end of the show once again, but the start of the weekend. Please do go and check out the Facebook video, as I said earlier. Otherwise, just get out there, grab some cards, grab some coins, grab Michelle, and go and have some fun with what is probably the best hobby in the world. Bye-bye.